me, prepared a table for me. How can it even be? You sent your son down to save me. No other name will I praise but yours. No other name will I praise but yours. Jesus, 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 you're the lover of my soul. Jesus, 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 you're the lover of my Okay, good morning everyone. Happy Friday. Everything's working today, so no more technical difficulties. It is January 29th. Happy Friday. And today the devotional is it's titled, If Jesus Didn't Think We Could Live the Life He Described, He Wouldn't Have Told His friends they'd do greater things than Him. And the verses that we're looking at are Matthew chapter 25, verses 44 through 55, which says, They also will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and did not help you? He will reply, Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Okay, and the devotional says, in the Bible, there's a story where Jesus wipes the mud on a blind man's eyes, and the man saw colors for the first time. Jesus strolled up to a guy who had never walked before and said, Get up, take your mat, and go home. Jesus felt the touch of a woman who'd been bleeding for 12 years, and he turned to her and said, Your faith has made you well, and she became well. Jesus showed up on the scene and healed people. But before he healed them, he saw them. He saw their immediate needs, sure, but he also saw what was behind it, because Jesus was attentive to those most overlooked. It's hard to believe we can do greater things than Jesus when we think about his miracles, but it starts by taking him at his word and then seeing people the way Jesus did. How can we go about healing people if we don't see them through a gaze of love? Of all the things Jesus did, I'm struck by what a miracle it was that he always had room for more. He seemed to pick up friends wherever he went, some who were hungry, some who were hurting, and some who were on a hunt for a new identity. Wherever they were, when they came with humble hearts, he said they were welcome. This is the life Jesus wants for us, to see people, feed them, and welcome them. He wouldn't have told us we'd do greater things than him if he didn't think we could. So, good morning, everyone. If you're just now joining us, we are talking about how if Jesus didn't think we could live the life he described, he wouldn't have told his friends that they could do greater things than him. And the devotional just described a couple of miracles that Jesus performed in the Bible, which are always good to remember that Jesus performs miracles. And I think it's kind of amazing to say that we can do greater things than that, you know? And it's kind of hard to hear because it's like, well, I don't think I can perform any miracles, but um, I think that love is a miracle in and of itself. And showing love to people even when it's hard, showing love to people even when it's not what you want to do, um, showing love to people who aren't loving you back, it is a difficult task. Um, I had this book. It had these different questions for like every day, and you would write in it, and you would sometimes it would be a chart, and you would fill in the chart. Sometimes it would be a question. Sometimes it would be something to reflect on and to think about. And one of the ones that stuck out to me, and that I never answered because I didn't feel like I truly had a good answer for it. It was what is one nice thing that you have done just for someone else? It was of no gain to you, but it was just for someone else. And I'm sure there are things that I could have written down that would have been easy to write and to say, but I took it to heart. Like I really, really took that question to heart. What have I done at any point in time that was truly just for someone else, that was truly just a kind gesture for them, and not because it would make me feel better, or not because I thought it would make me feel good, not because I felt obligated to, um, not because I was told to or anything like that, but truly just because I saw someone else's need and I wanted to fill it because I just wanted to be nice to them. And I think that that's something that if we truly think about that, I think that that leads us on the direction that Jesus was talking about and saying that we can do great things for people, because none of the stuff that Jesus did would helped him in any way. None of the stuff that Jesus did changed his life in any way, because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it. He's still the Son of God, regardless, you know? And you are still God's child, regardless. And you don't have to do any of those nice things, but that's all the more reason that you should want to. That's all the more reason that you should want to sit and truly reflect and think about, what have I truly done for someone else that was just for them, that I had nothing to gain from it, nothing. It wasn't because I was going to feel good at the end of the day, like I was going to have some sense of accomplishment. It wasn't because I was going to be able to go and tell somebody, yeah, I cooked for so and so, or I donated some clothes to so and so, or I was volunteering that day and just telling everyone about it, but truly because it was for another human being. And I think that we can, when we start to take those things to heart and take it so seriously, um, there, I think that that's where change comes, and that's where we start to truly do great things in our own lives. And there are so many ways. There are so many ways that you can do that. There are so many ways that you can truly love on somebody else and help somebody else. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Sometimes the little hard things are really what we need to do. There will be people and situations in our lives that we can't seem to find grace for. We can't seem to find the patience for. And I think that those are the situations that we have to pray and ask God to help us to be more loving, to help us to do great things in those situations, and to help us to see those difficult situations or difficult people as him so that we can do better in those scenarios. And so I'm encouraging everybody to really sit down and think, what have I done that was truly just for someone else, that I did not gain any satisfaction out of it? I didn't do it because of that reason. Even if you do feel good after it, that wasn't why you did it. And when you can truly write down something that you did for someone else, I think that is when we have started the journey of doing the greater things. And that's when we've really moved in that direction. But the devotional asks you to question, who do you see in your life who needs to be met by the love of God? And I think that that's equally as important. That's a good place to begin. Is whose needs do you see that need to be met, that you can possibly meet, and that you can be there for, because we are not here for ourselves. I think that that's something that we can oftentimes forget, is that we get so caught up in making our lives great, but we aren't here to make our lives better. Just as Jesus didn't come to make his life better, but he came to save everybody else. He came to make everyone else's life better. And in that same way, I think that we should work to make someone else's life better, because we're here for each other. So I do want to enter into a time of prayer now. And I saw Andrew asked to hold him up in prayer, and so we will be holding you up in prayer, Andrew. But if everyone could join me in a word of prayer. Good and gracious God, thank you so much for another day, God. Another day to chase our dreams, another day to walk closer to our purpose and who you're calling us to be, God. Another day to show love to our neighbors and be kind to our friends, God. Lord God, you know what troubles us. You know what is weighing on us. You know what all of our needs are, because you see each and every single one of us. God, help us to see each other. Help us to be there for one another. Help us to not just wait for you to divinely intervene in our situations, but help us to come into other people's situations and be of help when we can, to shine a light where we can, God, to be your hands and feet, God, on this earth, because you use each and every single one of us in some way to further your will on this earth, God. So help us to be willing vessels for you, God. Help us to be kind to one another. Help us to bring peace with one another, God. True peace that isn't just silence, but peace that is talking to one another and working things out with one another, and going to our brothers and sisters who may have alt against us, and working the situation out, God. But God, you know each and every single one of us. You know our hearts. You know our minds. You know where we need healing. You know where we need strength. You know where we need encouragement, God. And I just lift up each and every single person who is listening right now, God, that you would fill all of their needs, and then help them in turn to fill someone else's needs, God. I just want to hold up our brother Andrew in prayer. God, lift him up. Whatever it is that he needs, God, you know exactly what it is. And even if we don't, God, help us to intervene in that situation. Whatever it is that we can do to help, God, help us to do so. And God, just help us to continue to be a reflection of you on this earth. Help us to show your light and your love and your mercy to anyone who doesn't know you, so that as they see us move and as they see us love and as they see us work in your name, that they would want to know you, that they would want to know who could be leading people to such great and loving and wonderful deeds, God. And let's just end with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For that is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. Okay, everybody, have a blessed Friday, a blessed weekend. Watch church on Sunday. Yeah, and I will see you all next Friday.